was going to do a really funky reveal of hiding the camera under the tank and then lifting it up as an opening, but I decided against it because I'm bone idle. Anyway, hello folks, welcome to another shockingly bad, or at least it will be, shoestring shed video. From the shed of dreams outside we have Spurtage the ZZR, round the corner we have Olive the Pegaso, no Phyllis, as Phyllis has not returned home yet, because I'm leaving that up to Uncle Steve. As and when he can, he'll drop it off. Anyway, it's confession time. Yes, I looked at my diary the other day, the one that normally says, ate dinner, had a wank, you know, that kind of thing. And it's been over 2 months since I started this, and since, I think it's 2 months since we cleared out the fuel tap, because I could get it running lovely on the bottle of fuelage, but she wouldn't run on the tank. So the only thing I could think of was it's going to be a fuel tap issue, and sure enough it was caked. So that's all been cleaned out, and I haven't had time to touch it since. Well, say I haven't had time, other shit's happened. I always prioritise my own vehicles over anybody else's, unless I'm doing a quick rush job for somebody, which I tend not to do anymore. Because, you know, you get all these people that you don't hear from months and months and months, and then it's, hey, Jim, it's like, fuck off, not doing it anymore, not wasting my time on people anymore. I don't mean that horribly, but you sort of get it. This is one of the reasons why I've almost totally come off social media. I'm going to continue the channel, and I'm sort of, the channel's got a page on Insta, and it's alright, it's fine, but even Instagram's getting a bit, you like this, you must buy this, you must do this, and I don't fucking like it. So I don't know how long we're going to stay on Insta. I'm quite happy just to stay on YouTube. I am far more in control of what I see and what happens. Anyway, less of the waffle, more of the bullshit. Yes. Due to circumstance, he's been sat outside for a bit while I was repairing the other two bikes, basically. And Phyllis usually sits outside. She is now. She's sitting in a nice little lean-to barn next to I think a trike motorcycle. But she's alright where she is, and Uncle Steve will get her over when he can. Anyway, this is Charlie. This belongs to Uncle Steve. And to be quite honest, when he first bought it, I thought, mate, you have bought a bike which is far, far physically too small for you. It feels small to me. And Steve is 893 times squared bigger than I am. Although, give him his due, he is losing the pork. Soon he'll look like an anorexic Mr. Bean. You know, if he does, he's doing well. If he does even better, yeah, I still think he's physically too tall for something like this. I think something like, you know, ZZR 1100, CBR 1000, something like that would physically be better for him, even a Tiger. You know, something like a Tiger. But hey ho, he's always wanted a VFR. He found this. If any of you lot don't know the backstory on it, hand gestures, there is a playlist for this, even though nothing's been added to it for months. There is a playlist. Basically, he bought it off Facebook Marketplace locally. And the lad who had it, he sort of gave up on it. It came with, I've since thrown it away, but it had a large cardboard box with bits in it, spare carbs and all this lot, and a fair amount of parts weren't even for one of these, you know. So anyway, we got it running. I dropped the oil, did a basic engine service and all this lot. Mechanically, it's actually all right. It's not too bad at all. There's a couple of little buggery fuckery jobs that have been done on it. It's almost like I worked on it. But I rebuilt the brakes. They've all been rebuilt, painted. They work fine. I split and re-greased and everything. The rear hub, everything in there is fine. The engine's fine. You've got to be an absolute bellend to blow one of these up. It's very, very rare that you'll find a bad VFR400 engine. It's not to say that things don't go wrong. They do, but usually, used normally, serviced, regularly, they'll go on forever. In fact, I do believe Methuselah took his bike test on one of these. Anyway, it's even got the original, I think they're the original downpipes on it. It's got an aftermarket end cam, which sounds very nice. Hopefully the goal today is to get it back running again. The problem I was having, even running it on a bottle, was the idle was hanging high. I keep using hand gestures. And a quick look, I sort of gave up on it because I couldn't adjust the idle down anymore or anything like that. All the butterflies have been bench synced together, but on a quick little investigation, when you sort of lose heart in a project, you step away from it, you come back again, you fucking forget everything that you've done to it, which is part of what we're going to be doing today, is remembering where I am in the shed, Jim. But I did find out last time I got it running onto bottle, the rear chokes were hanging open, so it would close on the old choke lages lever, and I didn't notice it because I wasn't looking for it. But the rear chokes, or at least one of the rear chokes, was hanging open. Now that will cause a high idle. So the job today is I'm going to get the tank off, because I have just noticed before I put it outside I forgot to put the airbox filter and top back in. So I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, I've got a bit of eczema on my finger because I've been riding motorbikes all the time for months, sweaty gloves and all that lot, and it always gives me eczema on this finger. Nice, but it's good news, girls, you can't catch it. Anyway, dirty boy. I'm just hoping cheese eating friends haven't moved in the airbox, because I've had that before. I had a bike kept outside before we had the shed and all this lot. I had to keep bikes outside, and yes, even after a couple of weeks of not using them, we've had cheese eating friends. And the other thing is, it's covered in cobwebs and shit. Well, not shit, there's a little bit of bird shit, but I'm going to give it just a quick polish up, just so I can see what I'm doing, get rid of the cobwebs, because I don't like cobwebs. Have you noticed in the morning, you step out your door in the morning, all of a sudden you walk into a cobweb and you turn into Bruce Lee. Right, so that's where I'm coming from. It's just basically give it a wipe over, get the tank off, see where we were. I'm going to lubricate the choke linkages at the back again. They were lubricated when we put the carbs together, but maybe they just want a little tweak of adjustment, and to get to them easy I've got to take the tank off anyway. And then I'm going to donate some fuel out of one of the other machines, because they've both got pretty much full tanks, because I've been using bikes full time for months, because the car's been off the road. And if I'm testing bikes, I'll go to work on a bike because you've already got your kit on. I'm going to nick some fuel, just a little bit, and put it in the tank and make sure it flows through the tank okay. And hopefully by the end of this video we'll have it running again, and I can run it up to temp and masturbate. And be happy with myself. So yeah, that's where we're at. I need to get cracking on with it. So Jim, shut up. There is no beverage of the day today, because I've pretty much, well, I haven't just got up, I've been up a while, but I haven't had me morning beverage yet or anything like that. So we're doing this with a dry throat. Yes. Right, Jim, turn the camera off. Yes, get the tank off and all that lot. Just shut up. well, that looks a bit better. Just a very quick rub over with muck off speed polish, which smells like, I've said this before, come in a cleaning kit, which I did a giveaway competition on as well. It's good stuff, you know, it's nice, but it smells like fly spray. I'm sorry, muck off, but it does. Sort the smell out, you know, nice cherry smell or something like that. Cherries. Anyway, we've literally just given it a quick wipe over, and now it's time to get side panels off, tank off, reinstall the battery, gobble around with gubbly bits. Yes. Good news, no cheese eating friends in the airbox. Quick wipe over with a rag, it's a couple of cobwebs, that'll be fine. Right, what have I got? It's still got the pipe rigged up for the auxiliary tank, which I might just start running it off first, but what I'm going to do is these choke link jars, which are on every carb, I'm just going to give them a quick lube up. There's one there, there's one around there, you can see the connecting rod just there where my pinky is. This is the vacuum pipe, which you need to seal off if you're running it on an alternate fuel source, because otherwise you get a vacuum leak and you don't get the idle right. Once I've got the cobwebs removed, I will be splitting the throttle housing, because every single now is it the push or the pull cable? It could be the push. Every single push cable we've ordered 3 now, have all been the wrong length. They are marked up as for this bike, but for some reason they're all too short. So I had a word with the guys at the bike shop. They said you don't really need one, as long as it opens and closes, you know, proficiently, will be alright. Yes, right, I'm now going to just give the choke a move without lubrication, and just see if it's hanging up. So I'm going to focus on this one. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah, hanging up, definitely. Okay, well that's told me what I need to know. I don't think the cable requires adjustment. It bolts onto the carbs down there, but it just might be wise, as we've got this far, just to take the alley tray. Actually, if I take just this plastic part off, that will give me access down there to the choke adjustment. It might just be wise just to have a look, because those, see, that choke's back in. Yeah. You see, usually when you've got fuel going around the carbs and stuff, it lubricates all this. So it's only really a problem if the carbs have stood dry for a while, which these have. But the bonus of keeping the carbs dry, you don't get any shit in the jets. Benny and the jets. Right, I don't know what brought that on. Jim, shut up.
Seconds later.
Then, I just lubricated all the linkages with the WD-40. Other proprietary sprays are available, and they're working or appear to be less sticky, which is good. Olive has donated a quantity of fuel, and I'm just going to fill the bowls up. Hopefully they won't piss everywhere, because there is a chance, because it's been stored, that float needles and shit, official term, have stuck. So I'm going to turn the tap on, and hopefully it won't piss everywhere. Yes. Well, folks, I don't suppose I can delay the inevitable any longer, because Barnyard is... Are you nicking plums again? Get off my plums, my delicious sweet plums. Yes, we have plum trees in the garden, and apple trees and all that lot. And I had 5 plums the other day. I'm not a massive fan of fruit, as one can probably tell. But they were delicious. They were almost like an apricot. They were so sweet. Anyway, can't delay the inevitable any longer. Let's see if the little bugger will start up. Right, ignition's on. Going to try it without choke for a second. I did charge the battery. Although that was a long time ago. I wonder, I've got the old ZZR battery in the shed. I wonder if that'll do it.
One eternity later.
Right, ZZR600 battery installed. No way. Bowls have got to fill, etc. As a result, crankcase vents venting. And cut straight out without choke, that's fair enough. Well, it is running. Just need to do a bit of fine tinkery jiggly pokely. Obviously it's been stood like it. It might help if we just stand it up with the fuel on it for a bit. Don't know yet. Oh. Seems like a fair bit of blow by, but bear in mind it's been stood a while, hasn't been ran up, so the rings could be a little bit sticky. There might be a little bit of blow by getting by the rings. I think that'll cool off. The smoke and stuff is I've just sprayed the other side with contact cleaner, and I've got a bit on the exhaust. Yeah. See, I've been messing around with the idle and I think it's nowhere near where it needs to be. I also think the adjustment screw on the carburetors is the wrong length, so I don't know. I just want it to crack off on the button, which I think if I can get enough heat in it and get enough fuel through it, it'll do. The chokes are returning. I think it needs to be a bit more upright. I'll bring you back when I've had a faff.
12 seconds later.
getting a bit of heat in it now. All these spiders seem to be sort of self-evicting themselves, which is good. So I'm just running it with the airbox on now. I think, let's just turn it off. It will start again straight away, I promise. As soon as Cat's old TBR was the same, it would never start. And then once it was starting, it'd start the rest of the year. It's odd, and this seems to do it as well. But I think there's a diaphragm gone in one of the carbs, because I did the old slide test, and normally you get a nice uniform noise, like you should hear it like a pair of lungs. But that far left one of the rear goes, so I think there could be a hole in that. Oh, you little bugger! Look at you, you little bugger! You little bugger! You little bugger! Fuck off! I fucked it off over there. Yes. So let's see if it'll restart. Little touch of throttle, perhaps. Temp gauge doesn't appear to be working, but yeah. See, that hanging up could be that diaphragm. Charming. Isn't it wonderful to have good neighbours? Hello. I think that's going to be it for today. I have done my goal for the day, which was get the little bugger running again and just do a quick bit of investigation. I think the carbs are going to have to come off again, more than likely. I'm not happy with the sound that the diaphragm made. It's totally different to the other three. Potentially, if that carb's hanging up, it could be an issue. I've removed the pull cable from the throttle. I've got good throttle control, but what I might do now is on the throttle wheel I put a little spring, so it pulls it closed. It's right, the eczema on my finger's very sore. I've got some solvent or something in it. So no fingering for me today. Yeah, no change there. But yeah, the chokes are moving. I've took a sample of fuel out of that carburettor, and I'm just letting it sit for a while, just in case there was any water or anything in it. It shouldn't be, because it's come from the Aprilia. But it did have a bit of fuel in the bowls already, and the fuel that had drained wasn't the pink colour, which I've got going through. Can you see? Can you see it there? Look, pink. Because it's got a bit of red X in it, and red X, when that gets into the combustion chamber and stuff like that, it'll help free the rings up. Another thing that we used to do quite regularly with the red X, if you've got a used bike, you used to take the spark plugs out, put a tiny drop of red X, which is, in case you're in America watching, is basically exactly the same as Marvel Mystery Oil, and just drop some of that down the plug holes. And just leave it to soak. You got to remember, leave the plugs out when you spin the engine over, otherwise you may bend a con rod. Don't ask me how I know. Fortunately, it wasn't me that did it, it was one of my friends, because I told him to put red X down the plug hole, thinking he would have the intelligence to keep the plugs out. Nope, one engine rebuild later. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Because if I turn you round, you spin me right round. The weather's coming in. It is due to rain quite a bit in the next hour, and I want to get all this squared away, buttoned up, and the other bikes back in the shed before the rain comes. So I don't know where I'm going to stick Charlie. I think I might stick him in this corner. You know, make a bit of room, and then we'll take it from there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to plumb the fuel lines in, but I'm going to put the tank back on, put the side panels back on, and take it from there. So that's it for this one. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Don't forget to share, drop a like, all that bollocks. We're on Patreon as well. I don't know why I bother mentioning any of that, really. Yeah, because you're good. Ah, yes. Anyway, till next time, whenever that may be. I might do a little film on Slinky, actually, because I'm so happy he's back. I've actually spent in a week. I've spent 120 quid on fuel in the car because I've just been using it. It's so nice to have it back again. But yeah, it's, you know, want the toy, pay the price, don't you? Anyway, ta-ra.
Here we are. What's happening here? The loss.
Hello.
Well, sat nav out. Are you lost? Ain't this where you took your fucking tyres, Ruth?
Yeah, got fucking stiff there. No, we had the wheels done on this.
Yeah,
we had the wheels repainted. Jeff Fulks it was. And it was like 400 quid just to have blasted and painted. But Cat were paying, it was like a birthday thing. I know, alright then. And then they rang me up, you know, it had all perfectly legal tyres on it, just been through the MOT. And they went, oh, I'm afraid we can't put your wheels back on because your tyres, they need changing. And we won't put them back on without new tyres on. I went, are they legal? And they went, well, yeah. I went, well, you put the fuckers back on then, or I'm turning up with the police. Gotta watch them.
You gotta watch them.
50 miles an hour. Top gear, please, come on. There we go. 5 speed, this is.
5.
5. Yep. Hang on. Harry the Hedgehog.
Good lad.
Yeah, good lad.
Titties.